800-876-4123. And I know a lot of you were interested in phoning in when we invited Brian Sapient on the show. He's the co-founder of the atheist website known as rationalresponders.com. And he has started something known as now write this down, the Blasphemy Challenge, which encourages atheists to come forward and deny the existence of God on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and deny the existence of God and be very smart, apparently. In exchange for their blasphemy, participants will be given a DVD. That's pretty good. Joining us now, Brian Sapient. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Laura. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you on, and I'm trying to figure this all out, but I'm going to read from your bio. I guess this is from rationalresponders.com. Is this from the website? Yeah. Okay, it says you're a full-time activist, but you're not employed. You're sustaining yourself fully on any income generated helping people overcome theism and related projects. Can you really make a living at that, Brian?
No, not if I didn't have loving family members that supported the cause and took care of most of the expenses. So, no, you can't make a living doing it. Not yet, at least.
So what you're trying to do here is get people to put their souls on the line. Because, or you don't believe in a soul. So you're just to put it all on the line. What are you putting on the line, by the way, if you don't believe in a soul?
Well, I think that you're showing people that you're not scared of what we are led to believe we should be scared of. And obviously we are a predominantly Christian society, and so most people are scared of Yahweh's hell, and we're showing people that we're not, and we're so unscared that we would commit ourselves to a hell that obviously we don't believe exists.
What do you think informs your value system? Where does it come from?
Reason and logical thought, and
But where did that come from?
Your brain.
But where did that come from?
Well, it's a biological process and evolution. And would you propose that it came from a god somehow?
Well, I don't propose that I'm sort of smarter than anyone who's ever lived, and certainly don't think I'm the smartest person living now. But yeah, I do believe that there are things that we probably can't explain that inform who we are. And I've got to tell you, there's simple things for me. When I look at an infant, when I see a mother holding a child, when I witness, the humanity and the compassion of people, a loving family like the one that supports you, I can't help but think that love, that enduring love, comes from something. It doesn't come from reason. It comes from something and someone. And yes, of course, I believe it comes from God. But you think love comes from evolution?
Well, actually, I think love does come from reason. I think that, if you put a bunch of people in a cave from birth and they relied on each other to get by, 30 years from now, you'd see that, they all managed to realize on their own, without any holy text, without anybody guiding them, that they were dependent on each other and they needed each other to get by. And we kind of have that moral code with each other that existed well before God belief, or we wouldn't have gotten to the point where we could even, come up with texts that show people that we believe in some sort of God. So I think moral codes come well before religion does, and I don't think that we need religion to be good people. If we did, atheists would be locked up.
But morality, however, and we'll get into this more deeply, but morality consists of a set of commands. Morality are commands of behavior, and commands of behavior don't come out of a cave. They don't come out of situations. They come out of something deeper and greater than that. How do you propose that? Why shouldn't it be every man for himself? Why shouldn't it be, the survival of the fittest period? Why should we help someone? Why should we have good Samaritans? Why should we ever have had a Mother Teresa? Why should we have Christian missionaries right now working in Africa where the UN won't go? Why is that happening?
To some degree, I think it is every man for himself, but inherent in that is the understanding that you need other people in order to look out for yourself.
No, the missionary doesn't need other. No. You're not going to get away with that on this show. The missionary or the volunteer, the Peace Corps volunteer working in Africa doesn't need to be there. They're there for a reason. They're there for something greater than themselves. So that completely turns your point on its head, that it's just, this is how it would work out in a cave. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to bring up missionaries in Africa to me. I mean, that's a sore subject. I mean, they're actually, doing a horrible injustice to those people there, and they're spreading AIDS worse than had they come in there and taught, how to use a condom and this.
What do you think would have happened? Education. Right, but what do you think would have happened if all of us, and I say all of us, had listened to God's commands more faithfully? Do you think we would have had more AIDS?
We would have all killed each other off by now.
If we listened to God's commandments, love your neighbor as you love yourself, we would have killed more people. I don't get that.
Well, do you remember God murdering everybody on earth? In the Bible, Jesus lied. He worked on the Sabbath day. He broke commandments. He encouraged stealing. God condones and orders adultery in the Bible. He murdered over.
What Bible are you reading, by the way? God also sat down with people who weren't believers. God believed that everybody could be redeemed, and Jesus believed that, and that's why He's a loving God. Because and I don't know if you don't read the New Testament or you don't know the New Testament. A lot of people want to ask you questions. So let's go to Bob in San Diego, KCBQ. Bob.
Brian, if we could put a quantity on all knowledge and information, what percentage do you think even the smartest man would have of that? Let me just say maybe 2 or 3%, which may be generous. That being the case, how does your reasoned brain even accept the fact that you could even know if there is a God or not, and not knowing if there is one or not is actually the definition of an agnostic?
Well, I am an agnostic as well as being atheist. An atheist is somebody who lacks belief in a God, and that's what I am. I also don't know for sure if a God exists, and I don't claim to know if a first cause is known, so I'm agnostic as well.
I never knew you could be both, I guess. Well, that's something that doesn't, to me, that doesn't make sense. An atheist does not believe in the existence of God, but then you said you don't know if God exists, and you did this whole website to convince people to come forward and say God doesn't exist. So which is it?
Well, I think you're living in a Christian-dominated world there. There's more than one God. I'm fairly certain that the Christian God doesn't exist, but it is possible that some sort of alien God or some God that I don't know about does exist.
Okay. Let's go to Michael in Indianapolis. Michael, line 6. You're talking to Brian Sapient.
Yes. Why do you say we evolved when all the evidence for evolution has been lies or been proven wrong?
Well, I mean, that's simply, Christian propaganda. I implore you to do your own research and find out for yourself, and don't believe what you've been told by the church.